Good morning. It's Leanne Peters here, and I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook, and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to create a space of healing and support as we count down to New Year's Eve, which is my next 12-hour healing event. So the sun is just rising behind me, and it's quite fresh out here, but we had quite a hot day yesterday, so it's nice and refreshing. How are you? How are you doing today? So I'm going to be here for about 15 minutes. I'm coming back to do the cards for the next couple of days. I'll be back after this video. So in this particular video, I'm going to be using my healing energy cards. I've got my two decks combined here, my first deck upgraded and my second deck, which is brand new, and I've got 110 healing energy cards here. So I'll be using, hi Leela, I'll be using this combined deck to find the best card to focus our support video today. So depending on what the card is, will depend on what we do as we prepare for the 12-hour healing event, which is also a healing marathon, a 12-hour healing marathon on Sunday. I'll be using also my quartz singing bowl to support the energy, and I'll be pulling a card to go at the end. So that's what I'll be doing. What I'm going to be talking about is anybody's guess. So let's see. So welcome if you're new to watching. I want to also send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. I'm coming to you live from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Thursday, the 28th of December here, and the time is early. It's 6:08 a.m. It's beautiful. So I'm looking for the best healing energy card that the majority of us need, especially those of us who are participating in the 12-hour healing event. So I'm seeing these countdown videos as like a preparation for that healing event on Sunday, 12 hours of dedicated focus. So we're going to be stepping towards the unknown and diving deeply into whatever is needed. So what do we need today as we clear and prepare for this healing journey to come? Let's focus around this card. It's from Healing Energy Cards 2, and it is card 59, called Anticipation Anxiety. It's in the neutral category here. And down here it says nerves. It says stepping into new territory, which is literally what we're doing, because the theme is stepping towards the unknown. And well, it's the same thing as new territory is the unknown. Starting something new, something that goes against your truth, so it can stir up an anxiety. Change, don't jump ahead, and breathe. So working with the power of our breath to help overcome, we could say, or counteract that anticipation anxiety that we might be feeling. So what are you feeling perhaps anxious about, although that's probably a word that's overused at the moment? What are you feeling nervous about? What are you feeling resistant about? And it might be a resistance or a fear that's coming up about something that's maybe coming up in a couple of days, or tomorrow, or today, or next year, next week, or what next year, 2024, is potentially going to look like for us. I don't know about you, but there's been a lot of changes, a lot of doors ending and closing, chapters ending this year, just in December, November and December. So the 2024 for me looks very unknown compared to how 2023 looked a year ago, where I had things coming up and things lining up and things that I was involved with, and now a lot of that's closed. So now what? So there is perhaps in some of us a bit of anxiety or nerves, a bit of fear, some resistance as we prepare to step into the unknown, into brand new territory. And I think it's absolutely normal that we feel resistant and we feel nervous and we feel scared before we step into new territory. I think it's built into us from probably the first humans, whenever that was, some time ago, and as a part of our survival mechanism. And you know, the unknown is who knows what's going to be out there in the unknown, in new territory. So what are you feeling? You might even be feeling it in your belly, as far as a resistance or an anxiety, a nervousness, a fear about the unknown. So the best way I've found to overcome such fear or resistances is to work with the power of my breath, to build my inner strength so that I can face the unknown and the new territory with as much courage as possible. Because the unknown, a lot of it is inevitable, that we're going to step into new things, and we have stepped into new things perhaps our whole life. Some things are scarier than others to step into, but one of the best things we can do as we approach such things, whether we know what it is specifically or not yet, is to build our strength and our courage to face the unknown and to test and challenge ourselves and push ourselves into something new. So I think that might be what I'd like to focus on with the singing bowl, if you're interested in joining with me. So if you just joined in, we've got the card Anticipation Anxiety, so something new coming up, and I have my singing bowl here that I'm going to play for a couple of minutes. So as I'm playing, I'm going to hold the intention, and you can join in too if you wish, is to hold the intention to build courage and strength to face the unknown and face the new territory, the new things that are potentially laying out before us. If there is something more pressing and important that you need, then please hold that intention and breathe it in as you listen to the sound of the bowl. So there's nothing you can do wrong, just listen and let the sound hold you and support you as you connect, and we'll see what happens. Good morning, Daniel and Lena and Cindy, welcome. So take a nice big breath. Let's think about turning that anxiety, that nervousness, that resistance, that fear into strength. Can you transform that into strength? Can you feel where it sits in your body? Perhaps down in your belly, perhaps in your heart. Perhaps you feel it somewhere else, maybe in your throat, as something that you know you've got to say, but you haven't got the strength to say it yet, or you're not quite ready. So where are you feeling this nervousness, this anxiety, this resistance in your body? And how can you tap into that and then twist it and turn it, transform it into strength, into courage, into focus? So take a nice big breath. And I think too, reassuring ourselves that it's going to be okay, that it will work out in some way or another, and we will do our best as we step through the unknown doorway and into that new territory, that new door before us. There is strength in reassurance as well. Okay, so take another nice big breath and allow yourself to settle, especially with anything that you're feeling a bit anxious about in your life, things that you've got to face, things that you need courage to face. So, if you just joined in, we were chatting and I was playing the bowl with this card in mind, 59, Anticipation Anxiety. So stepping into new territory. And those of us preparing for the healing event, stepping towards the unknown, we are stepping into new territory. And I do find as I'm personally preparing for these types of healing events, that it does require me personally to summon a lot of courage to dive into the 12 hours because, you know, we can shift a lot of energy even in an hour. Like an hour is quite a luxury amount of time to dive into our healing. But when we've got 12 hours, like we can really peel things back and go deeply. So I find because I'm facilitating this and leading this in, pretty much completely, that I personally need to find courage to step into that responsibility that I have. Responsibility towards myself to dive in and to uncover what needs to uncover, but also, you know, to trust in the journey. Because like I'm facing a 12-hour block of time of healing focus that I need to be able to completely trust in myself and my body and the energy. I need to be able to completely trust in my intuition. So I need to drop all expectations and any limitations that I might be putting onto myself, and I need to just fully surrender and trust in the unfolding of moments. And I do live most of my life that way, but I do find sometimes, especially if other people are joining with me to do that, that's a sort of responsibility that I take very seriously. So I find personally I'm going to use this next 24 hours to build my courage to lead and guide and facilitate the 12-hour healing event. And now if you would like to join me for it, it's not too late. I'll be focusing on New Year's Eve, that's Australian time, between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m, that's Sydney time. You can join me at the time live as I'm sort of doing it, or you can pop in throughout that day as it suits you, and come back to the videos throughout the days or weeks to follow. So you don't have to join me at exactly the time that I'm doing it. So have a look on my website if you'd like to join in. It's at templeofbalance.com.au, the 12-hour healing event on New Year's Eve. So I'm going to now pull a card to go. So I'm looking for the best card that we need for the next 24 hours, especially based on what's already come up and how we can apply, or what action we need to take, what we need to consider or potentially do between now and 2 days to go. So the best card to support our what's next is this. It's from the first deck, and it's this. It's card 1, Enchantment. It's in the rest category up here, and it says, walk lightly, lighten up. So coming off that other card and the energy, you know, that perhaps a feeling of anxiety or nerves or resistance or fear as we find the courage to speak up or find the courage to step into the unknown, that we've been encouraged with this card, you know, not to put too much weight into that anxiety or the nerves or the resistance, that actually that wants to consume us. It wants to be louder than our courage to step into the unknown or to step forward and do whatever brave thing that we need to do. So that fear, that energy wants to get loud, and it wants to overburden and overpower. This card's suggesting that maybe things aren't as problematic or as dire or as desperate or as loud and consuming and overwhelming as what we might think. That there is a lightness to this energy, and perhaps if we have or look at a lighter approach, a lighter attitude, not putting too much thought and words and story and narrative into the anxiety, then we're not feeding it. We're not stoking that nervous fire, that fear-driven fire that wants to grow and overpower. And ultimately, that energy wants to stop us. It wants us to say, actually, this is too scary for me. I'm going to turn the other way. I'm going to stop. I'm going to make excuses. I'm going to avoid what I know I have to do because it's just too scary. It's just too much. So I'm going to put it aside. I'm going to let the fear win. That's what the fear wants. It wants to stop us from stepping into something that's potentially good and life-changing and improving for us. That is its way, because it wants to keep us small. That's how it survives. Our fear survives by keeping us small. But the best way to overcome that fear is to build our strength and let the strength be louder, the courage be louder than the fear and the resistance. And then we're just going to go ahead anyway. So let's be careful we're not investing too much thought and words and story and truth into the fear, that actually it might not be as much of a force or as true as we think. So walk lightly, lighten up, grounding, spend time in nature, contemplate potential new beginnings. That's so funny, because yesterday when I did a video, 4 days ago, I had a white cockatoo sitting in the gum tree just there, and I've got a white cockatoo sitting in the gum tree again, just there. It's unlikely the same one. Spend time in nature, contemplate potential new beginnings and what's next. Consider your dreams and fantasy. So this sense of going on this daydreaming, hopeful, maybe thought process, or even story that we might say that might be hopeful of what's to come, rather than letting the fear drive our resistance and then ultimately that we don't proceed. So we're being reminded in the next 24 hours to walk lightly, to be gentle, to reassure ourselves that it's going to be okay, and don't let the fear win out. Don't let the fear become so overwhelming and so strong, so overbearing, that we stop and we say, right, that's it, I'm not doing that, because that is the fear winning. That keeps us small. The fear wants to keep us small. It also wants to keep us safe, so we certainly know not to walk out into traffic or anything ridiculous that might affect our survival. So I'm not talking about survival things. I'm talking about our courage to step into something new. So that's that. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully, if you're inspired to, you might join me for the 12-hour healing event coming up on Sunday. You can learn more on my website, or let me know if you've got questions, if you're not sure about anything. I am going to go and get my other cards, and I'll be back. I might reposition my camera, and I'll be back in about 5 or 10 minutes for the cards for Thursday and Friday. So don't go anywhere. Keep an eye out for the next video if you want to watch it. And I'll be back tomorrow for 2 days to go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for connecting. And sending you lots of love. Namaste. See you in a minute.